This is the talk show that takes a no-holds-barred approach to politics, where truth and integrity are the standard and the Constitution honored. From Renaissance Studios, this is Champion News Talk Radio.
Good morning. Welcome to another great edition of Champion News Talk Radio. We are brought to you by championnews.net. We're your choice for the conservative voice. This is Ann Parisi, and our founder, Jack Roser, and myself have two special guests with us today. We have Mr. Michael Carbone, as well as Prairie State blogger, Mr. Warner Todd Huston, and you're missing your hat, Warner Todd.
I am. It's over there on the chair.
Okay. How are you this morning, Jack?
Oh, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Excited, of course, about all of our plans to expose the political and financial situation that our poor state is in.
What financial state? Aren't we doing just great? We're Illinois.
Well, the IEA Teachers Union is having a lot of fun mismanaging our school system, and that's the big problem of our day. They've managed to generate a roughly $160 billion deficit in the pension fund, and they've managed to put the whole political system into a disarray, we'll call it, or should we call it dysfunctional or criminal? At any rate, the whole state of Illinois so deeply in debt, mainly because of the teachers union and the pension thing that's brought out in this book. What people don't know that this problem has been on the way a long time. Some 40 years ago, I was head of a homeowners group in Arlington Heights District. 59 was the school system, but I was head of a homeowners group. And so they were going to raise our taxes, and I invited them to come and talk to our group. Well, that was my education, start off in it, because I went and I got the budget that afternoon. I started asking them questions, and I knew that I found out that the president of the board and the superintendent of the school couldn't really answer some of the things I brought up in front of them. And with that, they got highly arrogant at a meeting and announced that I couldn't possibly understand the complexities of a school system. And they insulted this engineer enough that I decided to look deeper into it all, and that's lasted over 40 years. I've been a skunk at a picnic.
Or what else? You've been the cockroach and the caviar of Barrington, too.
That's what the head of the teacher union called me, the cockroach and the caviar. Then they actually printed that in the Barrington Weekly Mistake, and our local newspaper. My wife wrote a reply, which the paper wouldn't print. They were afraid it would ignite the Barrington Courier. So I got used to, over the years, being given bad names like Hitler and child hater, member of the lunatic fringe, on it's gone. Well, payday is here, and the mess that I've been talking about for 40 years is in this book written by Zettler, and there's all the data you need. You ought to buy this book. You can get it from Champion News or from
Amazon.
Every chapter in here is a short story. See, I just opened it at random. There's a bunch of figures that might bore most of us, but it's in a chapter that's a short story about another outrage of what they're doing with your tax money and doing damn little for your kids. This K-12 school system is bankrupt in any way that you might want to say. It is the worst run organization in the whole state of Illinois, and it has bankrupted the state morally and financially. And it's been under the influence of the IEA, the stinking teachers union, which is a division of the NEA, National Education Association. I can show you copies yet that I bought of Forbes magazine in 1993. And I bought 1,000 of them and distribute them because they wrote an article there called NEA, the National Extortion Association. There are things in that article which ran 6 or 7 pages that would apply exactly to what's still going on here in terms of the management, the money, the fact that the union involvement and costs have gone up like a skyrocket, and the achievement of the children has gone down. So what you've got is a worse and worse and worse system at an ever-increasing cost that's bankrupted the state of Illinois. And the Democrat Party, of course, owns this thing because Madigan runs the state. His daughter runs the Attorney General's office, and the Democrats run the House and Senate. And at last time I looked, the Democrats ran the city of Chicago too. They own this problem, and it's about roughly $160 billion deep. Let's see them get out of that. They own it.
Actually, I say $180 billion. Now, our guests today, Michael Carbone and Warner Todd Huston. Michael, you are on a school board.
Yes.
And what school board is that?
District 46, which is in Grayslake.
Okay.
We're a K-8 school district.
And what are you seeing? And Warner Todd, I know that you're a blogger. You write about a lot of these things. As a school board member, what are you doing to help the taxpayers with this problem?
Well, actually this year, or I should say in December, we had a levy hearing, which is a hearing where you either increase the taxes, raise it, or lower the taxes, or freeze them. We actually froze them for the first time in at least the Collier counties that we know of in over 20 years. But you would think that'd make headline news, front page news, and then of course it did not make any news. But it was a remarkable achievement. For 4 years that I know I've been an advocate for at least freezing taxes for the taxpayer, and it would save the taxpayer about $400 a year.
Wow, that's a lot of money. $400 a year.
That's one taxing body, mind you. There's also about 4 or 5 others. There's a high school that's going to, they raise it, it'll be about $400 or $500 increase there. So, But the point is, it's the system's broken. You can't, it's unsustainable to keep on raising taxes year after year after year. But to answer your question, that's one of the first steps was able to do that and freeze the levy. We didn't reduce it, which would have been great, but at least we were able to achieve a freeze. And,
but a freeze is actually a good start. Now, did you have a lot of support from the community?
Actually, this year, we had a lot of support from the business owners that stepped up. We would get a lot of business owners to the meetings. They were out advocating, putting up yard signs, for support of not raising the taxes anymore. They came in and were talking about what they're paying and how they're being kicked out of the area because they can't afford to do business in the community anymore.
So what I'm hearing from you is the great importance of community involvement between the free market businesses and homeowners and the folks to get out to vote for these things.
Absolutely, and for the taxpayers, which you have to understand, for both sides. A small business owner, it's very difficult to take off the time off at work to come and attend these meetings. And the same thing for a taxpayer, because usually the husband and wife are both working,
right,
and then they have to take care of the family. So it's not an easy task to get out there and spend those 3-4 hours every 2 weeks to a board meeting.
But you've actually been doing that, and you've had some successes. When is the election for school boards happening?
April 6th.
How many percentage of voters show up for school board elections?
This year you'll see about 10 to 15% of your registered voters.
And how do people start getting engaged? What motivates people to get engaged to go vote in a school board election?
I think the number one thing is communication and education to make the voter aware of what is happening.
And how it affects them personally.
Right. One thing, and I've been doing this for 4 years, I do a thing for just strictly District 46 for our school district. Right now, currently, and I projected next year, 69 to 70% of the homeowners on the active market that are selling their homes are in foreclosure. 7 out of 10 homes in our district are in foreclosure. That's
7 out of 10?
70%, yes. Last year it was 52%, it jumped up to 70. That's a fact. Every year I made my projections, I've been dead on within 1 or 2 percentage points. That's what high taxes do to communities. They're forcing folks to move out they're distressing the property, and now they're lowering the value of their home. And there's going to be a long-term negative effect that's going to happen to this community, let alone the commercial businesses.
Oh my gosh, I'm hearing grease. Our financial reckoning day is here. And Warner, real quick before we go to break, as a blogger, what do you find to be and you're all over the state, what do you find to be the worst thing that's going on in Illinois right now?
Well, the worst thing is the fact that the unions basically have a lock on what's going on. I mean, folks like Mr. Carbone don't have as much power as they need to be able to make the changes in their own school systems to make things better. The unions have a lock on this.
It sounds like a single-party system here and kind of a rigged game. You know what? We're going to talk more to Warner and Michael when we come back after the break. Illinois pension scam. All the information.